Today, I'm at Collins Park in Eugene, Oregon. The landscape feature I'm describing is this large basalt cliff face made up of distinct vertical rock columns. This landform is an example of columnar jointing, a geological feature that forms when lava cools and contracts. This site is important because it records millions and millions of years of volcanic history and demonstrates how volcanoes process weathering and erosion. The cliff behind me primarily is composed of basalt, which is a dark-colored volcanic rock formed from lava rapidly cooling. Basalt is one of the most common volcanic rocks in the world. One of the most striking features here is the series of vertical columns. These columns are not separate rocks stacked together. Instead, they were originally one continuous mass of lava. As the lava cooled, it contracted, similar to how mud cracks when it dries. The cooling basalt fractured. These fractures created polygonal columns that often have 5 or 6 sides. The result is a distinctive columnar appearance visible through the cliff face. To understand how this landscape formed, we need to go back to when molten lava covered this area. After a volcanic eruption, a thick lava flow spread across the landscape. The outside of the flow cooled first, while the interior remained hot. As cooling continued, thermal contraction created stress within the rock. Eventually, the stress exceeded the strength of the basalt, which caused fractures to develop. The joints propagated through rock as cooling progressed, which created long vertical columns. The orientation of the columns tells us something about the cooling process. The columns typically form perpendicular to the cooling surface because the lava flow cooled mainly from the top and then from the bottom downward. And this resulted in the columns that are largely, they're vertical. Although the columns formed millions of years ago, the landscape is still changing today. Physical weathering occurs when water enters fractures within the rock during temperature changes. During temperature changes, the expansion and contraction of the water and minerals can gradually widen these cracks. And as you can see, it's great for climbing. Climbers love it.
Here you can see the basalt cliffs are being used for recreational purposes, and you don't want to fall down them.
Biological weathering is also visible. Small plants are growing within the fractures, as you can see here. Their roots can slowly break apart the basalt over time. Gravity, as I will not demonstrate right now, is also another important process here. As weathering weakens the columns, pieces of rock can detach and fall to the base, like so. The rock face provides a visible example of how geological processes occurring millions of years ago continue to affect how people interact with the landscape today. At the same time, management of the area impacts it too. We can see up here that rocks are obviously, falling, and they had to install a fence. Hopefully none fall in my head. You can see right here there are cracks in the rock, and you can imagine why they had to put this fence up here. In summary, Collins Park is an excellent example of how volcanic processes create distinctive landforms. The basalt columns form through cooling and contraction of lava, while weathering, erosion, and gravity continue to modify the cliff today. This landscape demonstrates the connection between past volcanic activity and the ongoing Earth surface processes that shape the environment we see today.